nice. It's the white cliffs of Dover.
Time is the most precious thing we have, and something you will never get back. It drifts past you like the tick of a clock or the beat of your heart. In a world that's so driven by speed and convenience, what's wrong with taking it slow and existing in the moment? You are either on this earth for a minute or 150 years, but part of the beauty of it is you don't know how much time you have.
Okay, so the bus was already late for like 2 hours, and now there's a chance that we may or may not get onto this ferry because we are late. We are waiting on standby to be boarding the ferry now from Calais over to Dover. It's so funny to be like on standby for a ferry. Definitely the first time I've experienced this. But fingers are crossed. Otherwise, they said the ferry that we're getting on is more than 3 hours from now. So we'll be getting into London Victoria Station maybe around midnight. Fingers crossed. I mean, sure, the train would have been like an hour and a half to go from Lille to London, but it was also super expensive, so you just gotta roll with the punches when it comes to this, right? On board the ferry, we get a free meal. Alright, so I didn't pick that ferry. That one's leaving over here. So we're on standby now for the next ferry, which is at 6 o'clock. Our confirmed ferry is at 8 o'clock. So we're gonna see if there's space for us on the 6 o'clock, and hopefully we can go from there. That puts me at Victoria Station maybe around 9. So when it was delayed coming from the train station over at Lille, the Gare de Lille, they gave us a €10 voucher for snacks while waiting. And they gave us a free dinner voucher now as well. I think it's something called Ford Vessel, I'm not sure. But there is a cafe that's over here, a little store. So we'll see if anything's going on there. So taking the bus from Lille to London is turning to be quite the adventure. Well, so much for it being like a cafe or a store. It's actually just a wine and liquor store. Wine and beers. Really wanted a coffee. Oh, looks like there's a vending machine. Coffee's inside of the vending machine. It's only coffee there is. So the entire time I had access to like good waffles. I didn't make do over in Lille, so I have vending machine waffles over here, which miraculously it got stuck, and then the guy went and pushed it over and it came out. And then also, you know, paired with the typical Red Bull. Not my usual Monster, but you know, it's quite a healthy snack, right? But yeah. That's your meal options is going to be this vending machine right over here. If you ever have to come to Calais to take the ferry over to Dover, my suggestion, travel tip, bring always emergency food. So there were a lot of people ahead of us on the standby to get onto this ferry, but this girl's a genius over here, and she got us onto the ferry. So you can hear us celebrating. Wow. I will never doubt a person ever again. She did it. She did it. Like, what? Like, what? I was like, I have to sit here and chill, but because there were a lot of people on standby waiting for the 8 o'clock, and this girl took the ticket, talked to somebody, worked some magic. I don't know how it happened, but it happened, and we are now on the 6 o'clock ferry, so our journey now continues to getting to London.
Yeah, I don't know. But we have a place. This is the most important for us.
I was like, she was down, I was like, oh, it's not gonna happen. She's like, I got it. I'm like, yeah. I didn't even think I was like, okay. You need to fly. This is my new hero over here. Anything is possible. That's so funny. This is actually pretty nice. I didn't know the ferry's like this.
If you've never traveled solo for an extended period of time, you may find it hard to imagine what it's like to spend hours or days in transit in airplanes, airports, or on buses, sleeping in bus stations sometimes, to just end up by yourself in an empty hotel room at the end of the night. I did my first extended travel in 2015, going to Asia for 4 months. For me, surprisingly, the result was this feelings of intense loneliness, which in experiencing that years ago, I faced a certain fear I didn't even know I had. And it explained to me certain patterns of neediness I had come to develop in relationships. Because of this awareness, I was able to break that pattern, realize that being alone is not scary, and feelings of loneliness is a choice.
I'm gonna go get a glass too. Huh? I'm gonna go get a glass too. Okay, I'll see you. Ooh, that's a great view.
The Strait of Dover is the shortest distance between England and France, a little under 21 miles, and on a clear day, you can see the cliffs from the French coast.
France! Next stop, Jolly Old Blend. Very much nicer than I thought.
When you're at that very last moment, everything's caving in, what is the one thing that will pull you out? For me, that's always been travel. What I fear most in life is regret, and that is something that stems from my soul. I'd rather live with the scars of a mistake and effort trying than to live with the thoughts wondering what if. It's the single question that guides my decisions now. Will I have regret? If the answer is yes, then it's my moral duty to try. I owe it to myself and to those who care about me. Recognizing that fear and pushing myself to face it every opportunity has led me to so many beautiful experiences and has given me a reason for managing my life. Sometimes we try so hard to find our purpose in life, to get from one place to another the quickest way possible, instead of just being calm, following our hearts, taking the cues endowed to us along the path. Maybe we don't need to question too much. When you travel, you experience the world differently. Fear is born from the unknown. Sometimes the scariest thing we experience comes from not understanding what is happening around us and from thinking it is happening to us. Don't get stuck creating this world in your head based on dark imaginings. What I've learned is I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. When I started traveling solo, and often as a budget traveler, I had to really step out of my comfort zone. When you step out of your comfort zone, you develop a completely different and new aspect of your character. As adults, our personalities don't change unless we work really hard at something or experience something that alters our person down to the core. I've spent a lot of my adult life of the past 5 years since I left corporate life living out of a suitcase. Thoughtful travel is well worth the time and the money. The great thing is connecting with people. That's the mark of a great trip, and it doesn't have to be these earth-shaking encounters. It's just the special connections that you make. Being in any place around different people or by yourself, there's one constant connection you can make, and that's the divine. When you are tired of standing, try kneeling. Because of solo travel, I can be alone and never feel lonely. You are only yourself when you are alone. If you do not love your own solitude, then you will not love freedom. That is not to say do not have relationships or engage in connecting, but it is only when you are alone that you are truly free. What I've learned is that when you are happy with just your own company, you are with others out of choice and not need.
It's pretty nice. It's the white cliffs of Dover.
Time is the most precious thing we have, and something you will never get back. It drifts past you like the tick of a clock or the beat of your heart. In a world that's so driven by speed and convenience, what's wrong with taking it slow and existing in the moment? You are either on this earth for a minute or 150 years, but part of the beauty of it is you don't know how much time you have.
Conclusion: finally have arrived at Victoria Station.